The Golan Heights. A stretch of rocky, elevated land. Seemingly quiet, but beneath its soil lies a story soaked in decades of war, strategy, and survival. On June 9, 1967, during the final days of the Six-Day War, Israel launched a bold and controversial offensive, one that would redraw maps and ignite decades of geopolitical tension. Until that moment, the Golan Heights had been under Syrian control. Perched high above northern Israel, the plateau gave the Syrian army a chilling advantage: artillery placements that could rain shells onto Israeli farms, towns, and civilians below. For years, Israeli communities near the border lived under constant threat. Children grew up learning where to hide from mortars. Farmers worked fields under the shadow of sniper fire. The Golan wasn't just a hill, it was a gun pointed at Israel's heart. By the fifth day of the Six-Day War, Israel had already captured the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt and the West Bank from Jordan. But the Syrian front had remained quiet, largely due to the steep, fortified terrain. Then came the decision, highly debated and still controversial, to go north. Israeli Prime Minister Levi Eshkol and his cabinet hesitated. Taking the Golan would mean climbing steep, heavily mined slopes under Syrian fire. The cost could be catastrophic. But the military argued that if Israel didn't act now, Syria might regroup, rearm, and retaliate. The time window was brief, perhaps a matter of hours. On the morning of June 9, Israeli forces launched Operation Hammer. Soldiers climbed up the escarpment through narrow paths blasted open with bulldozers. Tanks struggled over rocky terrain. Syrian defenses were brutal, fortified with bunkers and machine guns. But after 2 days of ferocious fighting, the Syrian army began to collapse. By June 10, Israel had taken control of the Golan Heights. The price was steep: over 100 Israeli soldiers dead, and many more wounded. But the capture transformed Israel's strategic position. No longer would Syrian guns dominate the Galilee. The front lines had moved. The threat had, at least temporarily, been pushed back. But with victory came controversy. The Golan Heights were not just military high ground, they were internationally recognized Syrian territory. The United Nations quickly condemned the occupation. And although Israel formally annexed the territory in 1981, the move has never been recognized by most of the world. To Syria, the Golan remains stolen land. To Israel, it's a vital buffer zone, non-negotiable for national security. For decades, it's been a frozen conflict. Peace talks have started and failed. Borders have remained tense, with occasional flare-ups. And yet, despite the silence that often hangs over the plateau today, the Golan Heights remains one of the most disputed and strategically vital pieces of land in the modern Middle East. Not just a hill, not just a border, but a symbol of war, survival, and the uneasy cost of security.